The fire triangle illustrates the three elements a fire needs to ignite: heat, fuel, and an oxidizing agent, usually oxygen. A fire naturally occurs when these elements are present and combined in the right mixture. Fire can be prevented or extinguished by removing any one of the three elements in the fire triangle. Indoor fire risks. A common misconception is that a warehouse full of non-combustible materials doesn't pose a fire hazard. However, packaging materials commonly found in use today, plastic wrapping, cardboard boxes, wooden crates, and pallets all contribute to spread the fire. Fuel. Common sources of fuel in a warehouse include waste, recycling or packing materials, fuel and solvents, leaking combustible gas containers, and flammable materials too close to a heat source. Heat. Sparks from malfunctioning or worn equipment, sparks from other equipment, careless smoking. Oxygen. Using heat sources near uncontrolled airflow. Some chemicals can be oxidizing agents, helping fuel a fire. On the road. Most transport-related fires are due to collisions, improper handling or storage of combustible loads, and malfunctioning flammable truck components. Fuel. Spilled or leaking diesel fuel and other flammable liquids can fuel a fire. Flammable or combustible cargo is particularly dangerous when loading and unloading. Heat. Malfunctioning truck parts can provide flame or spark. Heat caused by friction of unsecured, unbalanced loads or improperly inflated tires. Oxygen. Fire accelerated by wind, airflow from truck movement, and sudden feeds of oxygen, opening a trailer door. Fire classes. Class A. Ordinary combustibles. Fires consist of ordinary combustibles such as wood, paper, fabric, plastic, and some kinds of trash. Class A is the only type of fire that can be extinguished with water. Class B. Flammable liquid and gas. These follow the same basic fire principles as normal combustible fires, except that the fuel in question is a flammable liquid such as gasoline, or a gas such as natural gas. A solid stream of water should never be used to extinguish this type because it can cause the fuel to scatter, spreading the flames. Dry chemical extinguishers should be used. Class C. Electrical. These fires involve potentially energized electrical equipment. Fire may be caused by short-circuiting machinery or overloaded electrical cables. Water should not be used as electricity may be conducted through the water. Dry chemical powder extinguishers should be used. Class D. Combustible metals. These are metals such as magnesium, potassium, titanium, and zirconium. Metal fire risks exist when sawdust, machine shavings, and other fine pieces of metal are present. Water can excite metal fires and make them worse. Dry chemical powder extinguishers should be used. Note, dry chemical and dry powder chemical extinguishers are not the same. Use of non-powder dry chemical extinguishers can spread a metal fire. Class K. Cooking oils and fats. Fires involve unsaturated cooking oils in well-insulated cooking appliances. A solid stream of water can cause fuel to scatter. Water mist can be used, but in general, fire should be smothered with a chemical extinguisher. Fuel differences. A fire's fuel source material is important in understanding how dangerous a fire may be. It is also important to know how the fuel itself will behave in a fire. Flammable. These materials will burn easily. They can be solids, liquids, and gases. Examples include ethanol, gasoline, turpentine, and solvents. Combustible. These materials are prone to burning but require higher temperature to burn than flammables. Examples include wood, paper, diesel fuel, and oils. Explosive. Explosive materials may project fragments at high speed. Materials packaged under pressure will often become explosive when heated or burned. Any flammable or combustible material can explode if it gets hot enough. Liquid flash point. A flash point is the lowest temperature at which a material will burn or explode. Therefore, the lower the flash point, the easier it is to catch fire. In the case of flammable liquids, the flash point also includes the lowest temperature that the liquid will give off flammable vapor. A flammable liquid will give off vapors at normal working temperatures, such as gasoline, which gives off vapors at temperatures as low as -43 degrees Celsius. Combustible liquids will only give off vapors at elevated temperatures. These vapors are usually invisible, so you may not know they are there. They tend to travel low to the ground and can ignite some distance away from the fuel source. Sometimes a fire may be out, but will reignite the remaining fuel vapors. This is known as a reflash and is why you never turn your back on a fuel fire. For more specific information about fire risks, consult Transportation of Dangerous Goods Regulations and the Workplace Hazardous Material Information System. Fire prevention. The following steps should be taken to prevent a fire in the first place. Know your company's fire safety policies and procedures. Obtain training for dangerous material handling, transport, and storage. Be aware of products or equipment that could contribute to a fire. Follow good housekeeping practices. Use safety equipment. Smart housekeeping. Don't accumulate combustible materials in closets, storage rooms, or in loading dock areas. Keep all work and storage areas clean and free of garbage or debris. Place all combustible waste in self-closing covered containers. Emergency exits, evacuation routes, and access to equipment such as alarms, extinguishers, and hoses must be clear of obstacles at all times. Report all hazardous materials that may have spilled and clean them up when appropriate. Always use proper disposal techniques. Electrical safety. Maintain a minimum of 36 inches clearance in front of all electrical panels, breaker boxes, and power disconnects. Replace or report frayed or damaged wiring, missing junction box covers, and worn extension cords. Investigate smoke or odors being emitted from electrical equipment, as this is the first sign of overheating, which can eventually cause fire. Only use electrical devices and extension cords that have 3-prong grounded cords. Do not overload wall outlets or electrical circuits. Ensure all light bulbs that may be vulnerable to breakage are protected. Exit routes. Learn your company's general safety and emergency evacuation plan. This should include information on exit routes. An exit route should have illuminated exit signs, no obstacles blocking the route. Exit paths do not lead through or past high-risk hazard areas. No locked doors or doors that can be blocked. Exits should be open to an area that is free and clear of the building. The exit strategy will include a designated meeting point that is a safe distance away from the building. Vehicle fires. The preventable causes of commercial vehicle fire include mechanical failure or malfunction, leaks, worn out and broken parts, electrical failure or malfunction, collision or rollover. Commercial vehicle fires are often a result of carelessness, such as improper use of emergency flares, not completing proper vehicle inspections, and smoking around the fuel pump. When fueling your vehicle, do not smoke, light matches, or use a lighter. Avoid static that may provide a spark to ignite the fuel or fuel vapors. Avoid cell phone and electronic device use. Do not get in and out of your vehicle while fueling. Do not fill portable containers inside or on top of the vehicle. While pumping fuel, pay attention. Avoid spilling fuel by overfilling and allow a few seconds for the drips to drop off the fuel nozzle before removing it from the vehicle. In the event that a fuel fire starts while filling, do not remove the nozzle from the vehicle. If you can easily access a fueling station's emergency shutoff, activate it and leave the area immediately. Inspect your vehicle regularly to prevent fires. Watch for loose wood or chafed wiring that can start an electrical fire in the engine compartment, cab, or sleeper area. Electrical modifications and repairs should be done by trained technicians. If suspension, exhaust, or fuel systems are cracked, loose, or missing, they can cause friction, heat, or leak fuel, resulting in a fire. Inspect cargo to ensure that it is not vulnerable to a heat source such as a cargo heater or any other source of fire. To avoid tire fires, ensure the tire is inflated properly. An underinflated tire can cause friction, resulting in a fire. Underinflated tires also reduce tire life and impacts fuel economy. Imbalanced cargo can also put extra strain on a tire, resulting in a fire. When inspecting your vehicle, ensure the onboard fire extinguisher is fully charged and readily accessible. Correct any mechanical or electrical issues that may cause a fire before driving the vehicle. Check gauges and instruments regularly during your trip for any signs of overheating. Using mirrors, check the trailer and tires for any signs of smoke or fire. In the event of fire, you have very little time to react should a fire break out. Following the RACE method will allow you to make the safest choices. Rescue anyone in immediate danger, providing you can do this without putting yourself in immediate danger and that someone else can handle the alert step. Otherwise, do the next step first and then proceed with assisting others. Alert. Activate manual pull stations or other means to trigger the fire alarm. Call 911. Notify others around you to evacuate. Confine. If the fire is indoors, close all windows and doors that may provide oxygen to the fire. A closed door can also prevent the fire from expanding to adjacent rooms and buildings. Extinguish, evacuate. Determine the fire class and whether or not it is safe to fight the fire. Extinguish the fire using the appropriate fire extinguisher. If the area of the fire is too large for a fire extinguisher or the class of fire makes it unsafe, evacuate. Fighting the fire. The following factors will allow you to safely fight the fire. The fire is small and not spreading. Most extinguishers will be depleted after 30 seconds. Only fight small fires. The fire extinguisher is correct for the material that is burning. Using the wrong extinguisher can accelerate the fire or create toxic smoke. You know the extinguisher works. Extinguishers should be inspected once a month. If the extinguisher has a pressure gauge, the needle should be in the green zone. You know how to use the extinguisher properly. Exit route, not blocked. You must always keep a clear escape route between you and the fire. If you cannot definitely satisfy these conditions, do not attempt to fight the fire and evacuate the area immediately. Remember that smoke is twice as likely to be fatal during a fire as burns. Evacuate if smoke is too heavy. Extinguishers. Fire extinguishers are commonly rated as either Class A, B, and C, or Class B and C. Class B, C extinguishers use a pressurized dry chemical to smother the fire. They will put out a Class A fire as well. Every commercial truck is required to carry a fire extinguisher. Most have a 5-pound B, C extinguisher. When hauling hazardous materials, the extinguisher should be a 10-pound B, C. To prepare an extinguisher to fight a fire, pull the safety pin, release the locking mechanism that holds the hose, quickly test the extinguisher before moving to the fire. Pass method. When using an extinguisher to fight a fire, remember this method. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever to discharge extinguisher, sweep from side to side at the base of the fire until it is extinguished. Special firefighting considerations. When fighting or deciding to fight a fire, take special consideration of the following. Fumes. Class B, C, and D fires can produce hazardous fumes. Never fight these fires without protective equipment. Electrical. If possible, shut off power to the area. Apply dry chemical directly on burning material. Fuel fires. Never turn away from a fuel fire even when it seems extinguished. Slowly back away while facing the material in case a reflash occurs. Avoid getting the fuel on your clothes as it may ignite with a reflash. Fires on the road. In the event your vehicle catches fire, pull over to the nearest safe place as soon as possible, preferably an open area with no nearby buildings, trees, or other vehicles. Continuing to drive will provide the fire with extra oxygen and allow it to burn and spread quickly. Remember, you will never be able to blow out a fire by driving faster. Once you are safely stopped, turn off the engine and exit the vehicle. Once safely away from the vehicle, proceed with the race method. Remove anyone from in or around the vehicle. Call 911 and alert emergency services. You want to confine and contain the fire and keep it from spreading if possible. Avoid opening the hood or cargo doors as it will provide more oxygen to the fire and may cause an explosion. Only attempt to extinguish the fire if it is small and you have the appropriate fire extinguisher. If needed, use the extinguisher to clear a path to safety. Vehicle fire areas. Engine. If a fire happens in the engine bay, do not open the hood. Aim the extinguisher through the grille and radiator openings or through the wheel wells. Electrical. If it is safe to do so, you can remove battery cables or disconnect the battery to remove the source of electrical heat. Cargo. Never open cargo doors if you suspect a cargo fire. Tires. Tire fire should be extinguished by using a Class BC fire extinguisher. If need be, the fire can be smothered with sand and dirt. Rubber fumes are toxic, so special care should be taken not to inhale any smoke. Because tires are pressurized, they have a tendency to explode. Approach a burning tire from an angle, as the force of the explosion tends to go straight out. After the fire is out, cooperate with emergency services. Seek medical attention for yourself or anyone who may need it. Contact your carrier and report the fire. Complete any reports necessary. Set used extinguishers aside for inspection and recharging.